practical example on how to do learning by doing, learning by working. Before I do that, I'd like to come back to the principle of 70-20-10. I spoke about this morning, meaning that 10% of the time is spent on training, purely training, classroom training, so to say. 20% of the time is spent on cooperation together, monitoring, mentorship, speaking to each other, learning from each other, the learners from each other, and also trainers, teachers, and managers will be around in several ways. 70%, however, will be spent on working on performance. So that means that the learners, they have had maybe their basic education and they will perform in their daily duty what they have to do. That is basically 70-20-10. It is applied not so much in the world at this moment, because it is a new theory of Charles Jennings. I think he comes from Britain, not America. I think he's British. And he is the inventor of the 70-20-10 approach. And this has to do with the building of the curriculum. The curriculum, also for you and also for the academy, it has elements of that already in it. But that is the new way. In the past, we only did training and then they went to the work and they did the job. And it was good or bad, they tried to do it as best as possible. Now they are going to do the work in the training situation, but at the same time they are going to perform. And that's why I mean it's from learning to performing. And the performing element is very interesting, because from that you can have return on investment. It has real influence on how the public organization, the public administration functions. That is basically the idea. When I look at the screen, this is a table which also make it maybe for you a little bit more clear what is the idea behind it. And it has to be developed simply by yourself, by all of us, if we want to use this new paradigm. If I look at the first one, I see it only in English, so it has to be translated. If you don't understand, please raise your hand, then I know that I have to wait or have to maybe to say a few words more about this. In the past, it was reproduction of knowledge. That is past, reproduction of knowledge. That is not very interesting. Now it is develop and produce actual and new knowledge. So they are going to develop new knowledge by working, by learning all the time. In the past, training was the only tool. When you did your training, when training was finalized, you went to the administration and did the job there. There was a manager who said, you have to do this and that was it. Now, training is one of the tools. So training is an ongoing process. That means that training is there, of course, also theoretical training, but also practical training is a part in the work. Learning was a stand-alone event. The learners were taken to the academy or to a training school or whatever, and there is what they were told what to do. And it was far away from practice. Now, learning is an ongoing process. It goes on and on. And you can steer as a manager, because management is really, really important. can give certain tasks to certain learners, and of course also monitor the learner, to do this in order to be a better professional. Here it was learning and studying. Now it is cooperation, reflecting and solving. See that in practice you learn there the things have to happen. In the past, training was planned, very much planned. It was off the job and it was group-wise. So a group of learners came together and they were put into a classroom and there they did their study. Now it is just in time, just in place, and just for you. That means that if a person is working for an administration or for a department in an administration, that specific tasks are given to this person on his level in order to learn more and more and more. And this will also be monitored by a trainer as a business consultant and also by management. So management is much more involved in the further development of the learners. That is a big change. You get the idea? Because sometimes it's double, but you have to see the difference between left and right, past and future. The next one is that the training was very much guided. Now it is self-steering. So it is a general task that is given. A general task, and there is some training pills are delivered. And what I mean with training pills is that there is film on YouTube or on e-learning or on model learning, anything that you can use. And that means that the learner has to, in his own time, has to look up, to find out what the theory behind it is, and then develop the work in the workplace. So it immediately contributes to the successes of the administration. And it is guided by the manager. So the manager, or some managers, or a group of managers, they are looking, do the learner make progress, enough progress? Here it was an individual activity. Learning took place alone. You had to do it by yourself. Now it is social activity, because the learners, if they have a similar kind of problem, they will be brought together, this 20%, and will talk about the results. We'll talk about what were the difficulties when executing this task. So you see, it becomes a social activity, not individual anymore. So you can contact your colleague who is working somewhere else. How did you do that? And what were the results? What is effective? What is not effective? Ongoing learning. Here, in the past, learning is an activity away from the work spot. So it was off the job. It was in an academy or in a school or whatever it was, where it was organized. And now learning is working. So while you work, you get money for work, learning also takes place at the same time. Here was the teaching method was central. So from the viewpoint of the learner, he decided upon the teaching method, and the teaching method was in line with the learning objective. Because if a certain learning objective, trainers know what kind of teaching method should be used in order to fulfill this learning objective. Now focus on yield in terms of organizational results. So the focus is, while learning, there is an output for the administration. So, of course, the manager is very interested in this, because at the end, he is responsible for the results of the whole department within the administration. See the point? Here is formal learning, was really formal, and here is formal learning and informal learning. So learning takes place also among each other, in contact with the management, in contact with everybody within the administration, where you work. Here we speak about courses. Courses were delivered with clear objectives and it was all organized. Here we speak about resources. So learning is for 70%, well 70, 60, 70%, is because the trainer, the new trainer, has developed instruments, information, packages of information for the learners to learn and to do it partly in their own time, partly in the evening, partly during their work, in order to get some results for the administration. I do this so that you see what the difference is between the two ways of training. We had a guy, the invisible guy, who spoke about e-learning. And e-learning is really very modern. And it's especially, yeah, it's invisible. It's not Igor, it's Igor. Where is Igor? Igor is not, he's somewhere here. So e-learning is really very modern, and especially when you have a huge country like Kazakhstan, or a huge, what's not a country, like Europe. If Europe wants something, for example, in Europe we have a union, a customs union. So in the field of customs, which is also a part of that can be trained. In this customs union, they organize e-learning modules, because if you have to learn, let's say, customs valuation, then you have to apply it in the same way in Piraeus, Panos, you know Piraeus, in the same way in the harbor of Piraeus as in the harbor of Rotterdam. So that means that people cannot meet each other so frequently. There are possibilities to have an equal training, and that equal training is then done by e-learning. So packages that they can see, okay, in this kind of, let's say, goods coming into a country, they do it in the same way in Piraeus as in Rotterdam. So it's not so much about e-learning, only a part of it, but it's about performance support. How do I deliver as a trainer? That is also your task, and also for the manager. How can I deliver performance support? What kind of tools can I give? What can I use in order to make the learner, the new recruit, or let's say the official who's working in the department, how can I make him better? We spoke about competencies, now we speak about critical tasks. So, for example, there has to be made a team plan. In every administration, it is necessary to make a team plan. And how to do this? What kind of tools do I have? What kind of information do I have? Basically, in the initial training, and that was done before, also some aspects were a part of the curriculum. But now it comes to what kind of specific instruments do I have to make this team plan work in the department. So it is very much possible that information, so that means critical, what is it? Critical tasks is very much linked to the situation where the learner is based. Here it was classroom training, very, it's still okay, yeah? It's still okay. For the 10% still okay, but not for the whole part. Now it is social and personalized, you cannot see it, personalized learning. Here we spoke about training, now we speak about performance. So from learning objectives to performance objectives. Closely look at performance objectives. What do you need for performance objectives? Look at what top managers want to achieve with the administration. And of course, top managers, they have their mission, they have their vision, and it is filled by politics, of course, and they decide what should be the result of the Ministry of Interior, for example. And then also within the Ministry of Interior, there are several departments, and also several objectives are defined. Yeah. In the past, it was like 2010, 2070, so it was formal learning. Now it is informal learning, 70, 2010, the other way around. Much more focus on what happens on the work spot and what happens, let's say, in theory or whatever. That is less interesting at this moment. Because there must be enough knowledge, of course. Without knowledge, you cannot do anything. But basically, in Western countries, also in Ireland, I suppose, I look at Carl there, you have, let's say, academics who have a general view on how to work, and they have a lot of knowledge. Their IQ is high enough to grasp, let's say, the points. And then with the training pills, as I've said, they can be able to work effectively in the administration. Here we speak about structured learning, and here about structured learning happens incidentally, because while working, something unexpected will show up, and also that for that it is needed to solve the problem that is of the interest of the management. So also, for example, if we do with management training, if there is a critical incident and something is happening, and also the manager says, well, I have no idea how to deal with this, he gives the task to maybe to one or two of his workers, his co-workers, and they work out the task in combination with the management. And for that, they learn a lot of this. And you can see that there is a link between what they have learned at that moment and later on when new tasks are coming. So it makes the co-workers much more flexible. And then the last one is, here you have to gain knowledge and skills, but that's in classroom training. Later on, it is to accomplish work tasks. So accomplish tasks that happen in reality. Do you understand, do you see what the difference is between the paradigm who was used before and who will be used in the future? Do you can you grasp it? Do you understand? It is not so easy to say how to do this. That's absolutely not. Everybody is searching how to do it, and every reality in an administration is different. The situation in Greece is different from the Netherlands, is different from Germany, is different from Kazakhstan, and from Kyrgyzstan. So it all is different. But with this view on what is effective and develop the learners, it is a possibility to become better and to have better performance. That is what I would like to say in line with the presentation I had this morning. There are some sheets that can also be delivered to you. It is with the PDF files, remember? It is possible to deliver it to the trainers who are working on this. So this is what I would like to say about this topic. I am asked, now it is about half an hour, so I'm asked to give you a demonstration of this. And would you like to be in my shoes, trainer, now? Who would like to be in my shoes? This is a room where experts are sitting. Experts in training, experts in maybe specific things. And what I want to do is, let's say, I am the manager. I am the manager of. Now this can go away, so you can lift it. Yeah. Okay, that is good. That is good. So let's say I am a manager of a department in the administration, and I want to show contributions to the fight against unethical behavior for my workers, my co-workers. This is a topic that has been part of a training in Georgia, in Azerbaijan, and also in Armenia. And maybe not yet in Kazakhstan or in another way, it is possible. But it is a task for all the countries, all the administrations to become less corrupt, more ethical, more integer. And this is a huge task. And what I can tell you, when I was a kid, I thought the Netherlands is a fantastic country. And everybody is fair. And everybody is safe. Nothing can happen. Now I am 60 years old, and I fairly have my doubts about this. I've heard that also Philips, which is a huge company in the Netherlands, they bribe because they wanted to have a task somewhere in Poland, I guess. So they said, here you have money to some of the high people over there in order to get their things sold. You see it all over the world, probably also in Kazakhstan. It is really all over the world. And we have to combat corruption. Corruption is really a tough problem. It starts with yourself. How integer, how ethical can I be? And then it is in one way or another, is maybe the biggest task of the next 10 years, maybe 25, maybe 50 years, to make the world a little bit better by not having corruption. And if there is a company, or if there is top management who is corrupted, that he will be found and he will be dismissed. He will be fired and there will be a penalty. That is basically the idea. Maybe it's very naive what I say, but I believe that the world will become better if we have a less corrupted society. But how to do this? Where to start? I can say, well, we could start with ourselves and what we have heard, what we have seen. And I want to organize with you. I guess you are with maybe 40 people here around, 60. That will not be easy, but it is, let's say, we will try to organize this. If we are with 60 people, I would like to see 15 people in this corner, 15 in that corner, 15 in that, and 15 in that. So divide. Ed, will you help?
Уважаемые коллеги, давайте так договоримся. Вот группа до Хатиршан Шлимбайна и Жанар, это вот первая, да? Все, кто отсюда до верха, это вторая. Да, выделиваются. Тут Тамас Сулейман. Вы будете половинка, все остальные туда, в ту сторону. Пожалуйста, разойдитесь по углам быстренько, потом будет задача каждой группе. Прямо сейчас начнем двигаться. Поехали. А вы сюда заходите. Вставайте, коллеги, вставайте, давайте, второй ряд. Сколько можно сидеть? Вставайте, второй ряд, садитесь сюда, наперед. Да. Берите стулья, конечно, да, давайте. Let them move, because they're going to sleep. Мы же с вами слушали модель 70, 20, 10. 10 вы уже прослушали. Теперь за вами работа 70%. Начинайте работать. Зачем работать?
Okay, please sit down. Oh, that's too loud. That's too loud. Can you hear me? Yeah, you can.
Давайте пару слов. У вас стало меньше? У вас стало 15, стало 10. Давайте я тоже место перейдем, вам будет проще. Вы ничего не слышите. Ты дальше будешь выступать много, а вы будете не слушать. Давайте я вас присоединю.
Меня сейчас все равно вызовут, я вот по работе завтра буду готовиться. А что здесь надо делать? Я
Okay. Shall we start? It's funny, eh? Shall we start? Everybody seems to be very active, but only physically now. What you see, please take a seat. What you see now, we have made 4 groups. I need a flip chart here. Yeah, but it's my flip chart. So this is my flip chart. Okay, now this one in the corner, please. So I would like to have 4 flip charts and enough markers in the corner. So this is mine. I'd like to have this here. While Ed is working and he's organizing, of course, when you are a good trainer, you have this all done in advance. So the corners are there and the markers are there, and of course the learners or my co-workers here, they are in place and they are ready for the work. Now I keep on talking while Ed is doing this, and I will say that how we are going to, I am the manager. I'm the manager, and I want to organize. You are my co-workers. I want you to pay attention to ethical behavior in one way or another. I have organized it together with my training consultant. My training consultant gave me a good idea, and the training consultant is another colleague from the DBB Academy, and Irina knows him very well. It's Hans Rieger, and he is a close friend of mine. DBB Academy is really a specialist in the field of organizing all these kinds of events. But also DBB is not yet in 70-20-10. It is coming from the approach that the training event. And now you must see that also the workers, the managers of the administration, they organize it also, maybe on this topic, maybe on other topics, in this way. So we are going to work in 4 rounds. We have group A, B, C, and D. 4 groups. And we work in 4 rounds. The first exercise is done, and for everybody is the same. For everybody is the same. Is the following. You see that as a trainer, I have prepared myself well. Yesterday it was very cold in Kazakhstan, so I had enough time to write it on a piece of paper. And that is what you have to do as a trainer. You must be organized, or as a trainer, as a manager too. The task is as follows. Produce a realistic case of unethical behavior. And now you're saying, do I have to produce a case of unethical behavior? Do I show myself in this? And is it risky? Because if I announce this topic, will I be punished for this? It's not only about yourself, it's maybe about what you have heard. So it is later on when we get more connected to each other. we will be more open with this. And this is a way to talk about unethical behavior. So what to do? You work in groups, the groups of 15. First on paper. So use not the flip chart. First on a piece of paper. You try to work together. It's not easy with 15 around, but you try to work together and you speak about a case of unethical behavior. You write it on paper, and when it is ready, you put it on the flip chart. You have 25 minutes for this. And probably you will need it, because if everybody wants to speak a little bit, but I have to be very strict. 25 minutes is 25 minutes. And I have a clock, and I'm going to use it. You work in 4 groups. How will you do it? How will you do it? Please listen carefully to what the interpreter is saying. It goes as follows. You start with I am a police officer, a customs officer, a deputy manager of Ministry of Interior, whatever. Yeah? My responsibility is. Then you fill out what your responsibility is. Why are you in the world? Why have they taken you? Why have they taken you on that job? Yesterday, last week, last month, last year, something happened. I observed, and then comes the unethical case. Maybe there are much more cases. You have to decide yourself and to write down, starting with I am, my responsibility is, and then the time, and then the case itself. Decide by yourself what you would like to write down. You do this for 25 minutes, then I give you further instructions. Am I clear? Хорошо? Это очень хорошо. Очень. Okay. It's 10 to 3. Go ahead. 3:15. You get next information.
Полицейский, таможенник, руководитель, да? Полицейский, таможенник, руководитель.
В режиме тревоги боевой.
Мы обсуждаем.
Вот, кстати, о чем мы разговариваем, обсуждаем. Интересно, что вы там обсуждаете? Вы сейчас как школа, пойдите, давайте. Я наблюдала. А так, что молчали? Я анализировала. Я предлагаю
Далее турки, смотрите. Давайте нам бумагу. Вот пошли.
Да, подходит здесь клип.
Может быть, сюда повесим пока. И их задание потом повесим сюда. А вот здесь нет. Видите, конечно.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5 minut. 5 minut. 5 minut. In my best Russian, 5 minut.
Да, он, что есть? You mean you put it?
Yeah, you can do it now, but it's not necessary to assist as a road manager because they can do it themselves. It's what they have to do in reality as well. If you're working in the administration, yeah, okay, but for now it's.
Вы как раз руководитель вот таких каналов.
Коллеги, все готовы?
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's stop right now. You have that? Yes. Please sit down. Please sit down. Thank you very much for writing this case. Is it translated?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for writing this case. You have worked very hard. I do not know what you have written because it is in Russian and I cannot understand. But later on I will. Let's go to the second round. Listen to this. Listen to this. Ed has been very creative and has made a new flip chart over here. We go to the second round. There is a task for the second round. The task is analyze the case of the former group. That means I'm going to change the cases to another group. And it goes with the clock. So this group over here gets this task. And this group over here gets tasks from that corner. And in a moment, I will organize this in a moment. And you have the task to analyze the case as well as to find solutions, how to solve this. First of all, the first thing you do as a group, read the case, because you do not know the case is from somebody else. Then identify all direct and indirect stakeholders. Then third, analyze their motives, their interests. Find, the last one, five possible, maybe more than 5 possible solutions. And write this on a next flip chart. So you use the material of your colleague and you go on, and in round 2 you write on top round 2, you write down the answers to the discussion that you've had. For this, you have also 25 minutes. No. Let's do 25 minutes, then we have the coffee break. Is that okay? Yeah, I think so. 25 minutes. So, I want to, please. I want to ask the strong man to deliver the case to the next round. And I'm also this time a strong man, so I'm going to do it as well. When you have received the case, read it.
Нет.
А теперь сюда ничего не написали.
Значит, я, наверное, а мы не написали.
Okay, start to read things and identify the stakeholders and find a solution.
Требовал дополнительную справку. Стандарт. Что-то надо было. А где это писать?
Теперь решение надо.
Так, прямые и косвенные подходы.
Прямые и косвенные заинтересованные стороны.
Да.
Потом мотивы, интересы.
Давайте этот легче. Где?
Надо следующий писать. А это?
Кто там
Сотрудник зона,
прямые и непрямые?
Прямые и непрямые заинтересованные стороны.
Зона, да?
Прямые. Это работник, выдающий
Да, сон, работник сон.
Нет,
Прямые и непрямые.
который готовит эту не прямой, наверное.
Который как раз я у вас справку прошу, я же тоже такой.
Да, это будет заказчик.
Заказчик, да.
Клиент. Не прямые. Что-то было, мы идем не
А потом кто там печать ставит, он же должен руководить исполнительного этого.
Вообще-то было не дали им справку, потому что он
Потребовал
попросил
дополнительную
дополнительную справку. Требовал дополнительную справку. А он ему отказал. Что значит дополнительную справку? Дайте еще одну. Или что-то вроде этого. Ну, что-то вроде этого. А он не захотел дать. Нет, это мы решаем. Анализируем, мы решаем.
Наш председатель был.
Да. Так, мотивация. Что там дальше? Мотивация, да?
Так, что побуждало их?
Мотивация. ему если так машина, то он
Он по номеру распределяется. Моя машина тоже не остановится. Моя машина тоже не остановится.
А если ДТП, видите?
Почему?
Это же ДТП прошло.
Пиши. Значит, первое это слово страх.
Так, а куда вы дели наши все фломастеры?
Дайте нам один фломастер. Фломастер? Да, у вас.
Двоеточие. Автомобилисты, пешеходы.
А, нет, они коллега. Его коллеги. Ну вот наименьший
Нет, просто давайте не
Что на кого указывать?
Там, наверное, это просто, наверное, спасибо тебе. Я тебе дам
Да, информационное совершенство и информационная система. Потому что они не анализируют, лучше это, не лучше, да, а вот цена маленькая, все, и
Медали есть две стороны. Они
перед своим начальством и перед известным человеком. Все, хватит.
Да, и теперь эти заинтересованные лица.
Самое интересное,
Да. Это, кстати, прямые, кто прямые? Заинтересованные лица. Что за прямые заинтересованные лица? Это кто первое? Это сам водитель, да? Водитель. Второй начальник, да? Так, видите. Высокопоставленный.
а вот это прямой начальник.
Это начальник. Пострадавший, да?
если делают, значит деньги делают.
Я видел, что мой коллега почему он так сделал?
Хотите сделать наследие, а вот после и вот это вот поставили, да?
Да, но ему да, кстати, это тоже они зарплату не получают.
Решение первое. Как решить?
If a group is ready with a task, they can go for a cup of coffee, because it is coffee time. If you are ready with a task, you can go for a cup of coffee.
Видеофиксация рабочего дня сотрудника полиции. Видеофиксация. Меняет вот этот руководитель, то меняет его на основании может здесь кто-то запись? Как ты думаешь? Они считают, что он лучше. Кто правильный? Что дал какую права? Они так считают, что лучше. Я никому не верю.
For them to get the permit for where to enter the building of the academy tomorrow.
Мне кажется, уже
Those
заказали.
guys already got it.
Who does?
Yeah, already sent it.
Oh, you did.
Last week.
Мне кажется, уже заказали, говорят, упаковали.
I asked him, if you okay, you can send it again.
No, I will double check this with our
I think
нам нужен не туда пропуск. Мы же не сказали пропуск. Заказывали, да? На 2 дня, да? Отлично, да, потом зайдет, да?
Вечная память.
Да.
Тема, самое главное,
На сайте будут на нашем сайте, да. Сразу возьмете, посмотрите. Это называется сразу. Да.
Знаете, что такая традиция? Это или просто запасное число везде. Пришло приглашение, значит, именно информация, именно приглашение, 25 числа, 11 числа, награждение, чего-то там, от науки, образования.
Я все говорить самое главное, мы обсуждаемые верховные приложения. Жанна была все-таки лидером.
Как лучше? Как?
Нет, чтобы вот это было написано, да, как вот здесь.
Ты поставь на столе, ну ставь вот так, вот так.
Великий радость. Нет, чуть-чуть она все, не, да, она ужасна.
Енді кішкене сіз жақында
Да.
еще один раз 8-9.
When you have arrived in the room, please sit down, take a seat. Please take a seat in your own group. Please go to your group and take a seat. I have a feeling that we have lost a few people. Yeah. Okay. Everybody is in. Everybody is in. So, okay. Adil Manut? What are you selling here? Please come in. Please come in. Hurry. Okay. Please come. I think everybody is in now. Yeah. Thank you. Please sit down. The work is done now. Please sit down. Please sit down. So this is a moment after the coffee break. Let me see. Is it interpretation? Is there? Interpretation is there? So This group or that group? Are you that group? Okay, you go to that group. Go to that group. Yeah. So everybody's in the same group again, working together. After a coffee break and after done 2 rounds, as a trainer you always compliment the group, of course, with the excellent work that they have done. What I have seen, I really mean it, that as a trainer you see that people are active, that they discuss and talk to each other, and that is really what you like to see. A lot is happening in the classroom right now, or in this room, this working room, which I do not know, because I do not speak the language. But I look at you and I see that you are very active, and that you are really writing down everything that you know about this topic. So, make a compliment, and I do this right now. Compliment to you. We go to number 3. I give you the explanation. Please listen carefully. Round number 3 goes, select the best solution that was given to the group before you, and give arguments. What was the best solution that you have read? Give the arguments. You write down on a next sheet of paper, in 10 minutes time, the results of this round. How to do this? Step 1. First, all together, read the case, because you do not know it, it's written by somebody else, and read the analysis from round 2. Step 1. Second, select the best solution. They have given a couple of solutions. Select the best solution. Write that down on the flip chart. The next flip chart is available. Write arguments for the selected solution. So it's in fact simple. You only get 10 minutes for this. You go through the solutions given. What is the best one? And what are the arguments that you can think of that this is the best solution? Is the task clear? Yeah, da. Okay. Now we're going to change the flip chart again. I need strong men again. Yes, strong men to help.
Давайте самым усилием бывает. Дали слабые цепочки.
So read the case, and read the analysis.
Чтобы не было в этой сфере, нет, мы не можем пропадать. Почему мы один
Five minutes. Oh, Piat is five. Piat is five. You're making crazy.
Давай.
Спасибо. Как мы получим две фотографии?
Так, вот это вопрос.
Ержан, Ержан, Ержан.
Okay, thank you very much. Please sit down again. Please sit down again. Please sit down. Please take your seat. Yes.
Sure, yes.
Okay. Continue now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So you see that the role of trainer is becoming the role of quizmaster. Because I'm here with this microphone and I feel like a quizmaster. Also, these kinds of competences you need as a business consultant, as a trainer. Thank you very much. This was round number 3. Now the last round is 4, and that only takes for 5 minutes. I will explain first. Please listen. Contains of 2 pages. Round 4. Round 4 is to judge the solution. You're going to judge the solution. That's, again, the picture around. The first step is read the case, the analysis, and the solution. So read the results of the former group. B. Judge by taking into consideration the law regulations, the interest of stakeholders, and the moral and ethical standards. Take them into consideration and then give points to the solution. So you read it, you read all the material, you assess, you're the judge now, and you give points. So I only want to see points on the flip chart, because you write the number of points on the flip chart. How can the points be given? Here comes the points. You give a point if the solution does not fit or violate the law. Then it is 1 point. It's your assessment. You give 2 points if the case is solved, but it is not sustainable, and the parties involved are harmed. So a little bit better, but not good enough. 3 points if it is legally solved, but the dispute remains. 4 points if it is legally solved and most of the parties agree, accept. Most of the parties. Give 5 points if legally accepted and all the parties are satisfied. So you will be a judge of a new case, because you will read a new case with a solution, and you are the judge. Okay, let's switch with for the last time, with the flip charts, so that you can read and can assess. Please let the strong man stand up and help me with the flip chart.
How long do they have each group to present? So they have to try to stop. Yeah, it's an hour.
Okay, give your points. I would like to see the number of points on the flip chart. And please sit down on the other side of the table. Can you also on the other side of the table? Make sure that everybody can see everybody. Please sit down. Well, this was something, huh? Okay, okay. Let's finalize the task. I would say, let's do it in 2 rounds. Do you hear me in Russian? Is it? Yeah, yeah. Let's do it in 2 rounds. First of all, I think it is interesting to talk about the teaching method. So let's forget about the content right now and look at the teaching method. And maybe you can take a minute on a piece of paper for yourself. What do you see as advantages or disadvantages of this teaching method? And the questions that you have, then we can have a discussion on that. Let's take 1 minute, think for yourself. Do not communicate with a neighbor, do it simply for yourself. Okay, for yourself, for yourself, for yourself. Oh, this is rest. This is a lot of rest. Huh? Okay, 1 minute is over. You've given a thought about the teaching method. Who would like to say something about advantages, disadvantages of this teaching method? Basically, it was done because of working by doing, learning by working. Can you use the microphone so that everybody can hear, or shall I give you mine?
Спасибо. Да. Ну, методы преподавания, конечно, в данной ситуации есть свои плюсы, есть свои минусы. С плюсов начнем. Ну, первое. Мы все в этой вот школе побывали, да, и поэтому это очень интересная живая ситуация. То есть мы рассматриваем живую ситуацию, и это происходит здесь и сейчас. Это плюс. Потом, я в команде. То есть вот это вот ощущение, что мы частности. И не просто я вот в этой команде, я в цепи команд. Следующий плюс – это получение знаний. Ну, само собой разумеется, я получаю знания, которые раньше не было. Затем, следующий плюс – я чувствую ответственность за командное решение. Потому что наше решение потом пойдет к следующей команде. И седьмое – личная ответственность. То есть мало ли чего здесь вот проговорено, да? Чтобы оно здесь вот было правильно высказано, правильно сформулировано, и вот к той команде оно пошло тоже с плюсом, чтобы потом стыдно за это не дать. Это вот плюсы, минусы. Я умный, а остальные нет. Потом, вот другая, может быть, интуиция. Ну что? Ну, подумаешь. Ну что? Оно везде так, практика такая. Потом третий минус. Одни работают, другие помалкивают. Есть такой момент? Есть такой. Потом четвертое. Я сказал, и все. Остальных я не слышу. Вот главное вот прокукарекать вот тут и сейчас. Ну, вот где-то вот то, что я успела. Спасибо.
Альберт, можно, да?
Thank you very much. It was very nice to say. You can comment on it.
Ну, мы тоже, конечно, согласны с этими преимуществами. И вообще, вам спасибо большое, Альберт, что нас познакомили с таким хорошим методом. Буквально приедем в среду или в четверг, уже сразу же начнем применять этот метод. Но какие недостатки я бы хотела отметить? Во-первых, некоторые коллеги не точно следовали инструкциям. Да, то есть такое у нас, как вот, может быть, даже оно исходит сначала из-за того, что я умный, а потом мы немножко не очень серьезно относимся к таким видам обучения, особенно когда в группе. Надо слушать Альбертуса, надо слушать хорошо тренера и четко следовать инструкциям. Это вот как раз все те методы, где присутствует групповая работа. Допустим, не очень точно некоторые пишут, да, кто я, да, мои обязанности вообще не были прописаны. Из 5 решений надо было выбрать одно лучшее, некоторые в группу выбирали 3 решения. И вот выбирая потом из этих, притом писали 6 решений, из них 3 выбирали лучших. Вот выбирайте сам, на что способен, да? И вот еще, Альберт, знаете, мы вот все-таки в наше коллективное мнение было бы лучше и более эффективное, наверное, если бы к группе вернулся бы чарт с исходной ситуации. То есть ту исходную ситуацию, которую они сами придумали, и они должны ее сами и оценить. Вот был бы эффект более лучший. А то получается все равно такое есть какое-то ощущение, как будто это не твое. Да, не завершенное. Знаете, ну не твое и все. Это вот я хотела сказать, как и недостаток еще один, конечно, когда группа большая. Не надо ни в коем случае большую 15 человек, потому что, как в известном советском анекдоте, в группе всегда можно сочкануть. Спасибо.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your comment. The last comment that you made, the group is very large, is absolutely right. Because you never do such an exercise with 50 people.
50 people in a room, it's, you know, it's a big mess. But what I saw is that everybody, or not every, maybe not everybody, but most of the groups were really very active. What I saw is that there were a few people around the flip chart and they were active. Maybe some others, I could not assess this, and I do not understand the language either. So there is a difference between some are more active than others. But isn't that the case also in the administration? When something has to be done within the administration, some are more active and others are less active. And this is only one case, but throughout the whole program, there will be more cases. And also, it is necessary that you assess in one way or another the result of what the individual has towards the objective, towards the mission of the administration. This was only one case, only one. But there will be much more, because learning is an ongoing process, and that means that in other situations the groups will be smaller. What I saw was that this is an activity where everybody can be really very active. What I saw, I said to Carol in here, we decided, we see that you are also talking about other things. Maybe because the group was too big, you go a little bit backward, and you also talk to each other about the work or maybe about your private life in this room, and that also maybe creates a certain network. That is also good. So it's a side effect of this tool. You cannot organize, let's say, a whole training only with this very active teaching methods. Of course, you have to do other teaching methods as well. It's a whole repertoire of teaching methods that you have to use. But partly it will also be done like this, and then you will see some results. So basically, how I feel it is, this can be successful, because what was the idea? I was the manager, remember? I was the manager of the department in an administration. And I wanted to pay attention on integrity, on ethical behavior. I wanted to organize something with the help of my business consultant, with the help of my trainer, to organize something in the administration to lift up the level of ethical behavior. This exercise is only a small contribution to that. More has to be done for this, of course. But it is an example that you can use in the total curriculum, in the total, the curriculum building, that you can also use. That is the idea. What do you need for this? First of all, as a trainer, you have to think before you start this exercise how to do this. So what I did, and I stole it from EBB Academy, by the way, is that there was this round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4 with clear instructions. If it is not clear, then it will be a mess. So you have to be sure that, and also check it then with another colleague, if you are preparing for such a case, check it with another colleague. How would you think that this would work? So do not do it on your own, but do it together with 2 or 3 colleagues you know very well, who you go to consult, to ask for consultation. Then, when you are confident that this method is working, just try out, and you will see you will make some mistakes in the beginning. I know this round is also done in Georgia, and is done in Azerbaijan, and it is done in Armenia. For this, there was really training. So the trainers were trained to apply this. This is an activity, one of 7 activities, where the objective is to lift the level of ethical behavior. So it's only a small part. But I was asked to show a case situation, what is maybe new and what you can use. Well, it's maybe not so new, but you will see that if you have to apply this, it is sometimes not easy. And if you make a mistake, if you are not clear yourself what to do, yeah, then it will be a mess. So you have to be clear about the objective, what you want to achieve, and also how to do it, how to organize it. And that is really crucial. I must say that although I haven't understood anything because you speak Russian and I do not speak Russian, I'm, I think, pretty satisfied. At the end of this exercise, what we do then is presentation of the 4 cases. So what I would like to do, maybe not the 4 of you all, but that one person is chosen from the group and in front of the classroom here, he presents the case for everybody. So it's a dissemination of cases, so that you listen to what others think about it, including the case itself, including the analysis, including the solution, and also the points and why so many points were given. That also brings the group together, and also from a didactical point of view, from a pedagogical point of view, it is also necessary that when a group has done some work, that they can present it to all the other ones. As a manager, because I was a manager, I want to be sure that what you have written, the manager would have understood because he speaks Russian. He would like to know what are the results and what could be a next step, because this is also a small brick in the world to make the world less corrupt. What to say? You want to say something, I guess? Yes, please do it. You want to say something? Да.
Я хотела спросить, а что мы называем своим кейсом в данном случае? Это вот та последняя цифра, которую мы поставили, это и есть наша? Наша, вы сказали, вот репрезентуете свой кейс, да, с решением, с анализом. Что вы называете нашим кейсом? Тот, где мы поставили последнюю завершающую оценку, да? Это и есть наш. Теперь уже.
Yes.
Да. Хорошо.
Yes, I would say that doesn't matter so much because yeah, it is your case, but the case is a general case. It is a case that came from your mind, but you have now judged another case, and this case is what you can present. Because you're also familiar with the whole case. You've given the judgment, and so it is possible that the judge at the end, that he or she presents the case. And then there can be a discussion with all the other ones, why this was done, what the arguments, maybe there are more arguments, maybe there's, and that discussion can take a day, for example, but also that you have to organize that the time spent on the discussion is effective and also efficient. So let's say if a case is discussed, then maybe 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, then most of the value of the case has been discussed, and this should be enough for this exercise. Clear? You want to start? Конечно. But I do not hear you. Wow.
Ну как, мы там поставили оценку. Уже наш. Ну как не понимаете?
Не понимаю.
Вот куда я показываю. Вот на той стороне чарт, где мы поставили завершающую оценку. Мы его теперь называем наш кейс. Можно мы его проговорить? Да? Все. Ну я тогда могу пойти с микрофоном. Там есть?
I have it here. I have it here.
Так, слышно? Так, ну хорошо. Вот первый раунд. Первый раунд, который заключается в следующем повторении, да, задание. Первое. Сформулировать реалистичную ситуацию неэтичного поведения по следующим направлениям. Я есть. Раз. Мои обязанности. Два. Вчера, там, на прошлой неделе и так далее. И четвертое, наконец, неэтичное поведение. Полчаса каждый из нас из 4 групп занимались именно этим. И вот первое, что мы видим. Я руководитель ТО «Талак», был приятно удивлен результатами очередного тендера, объявленного МВД по обучению его сотрудников государственному языку. Победу в очередной раз одержала фирма «Астана-Тек», хотя есть постоянное нарекание по качеству оказания услуг данной фирмы. Наша фирма предлагает эти услуги по той же цене, но высокого качества, что подтверждено множеством сертификатов и отзывов потребителей. Вот она, казалось бы, ситуация. Но в данном случае мы видим что? Мы видим, что, по сути дела, вот эта сетка инструкций не соблюдена. Я есть, мои обязанности, вчера и неэтичное поведение. Где, по сути дела, это неэтичное поведение, оно сформулировано не было. Ну, идем дальше. Может быть, на следующем этапе эта ситуация будет разъяснена. Итак, идем дальше. Тут вообще цирк получается. Со стороны не наблюдается неэтичного поведения. Почему? Потому что как раз таки на втором раунде должно состояться следующее. Анализ кейса другой группы, найти решение проблемы, определить прямые и непрямые заинтересованные стороны, далее, что побуждало их поступить так, и найти более чем 5 решений. Что мы видим? Со стороны руководителя ТО наблюдается факт неэтичного поведения, заинтересованные лица какие? Фирма ТО, заказчик, а косвенное лицо заинтересованное – это поставщик. Что касается решений. Первое. Совершенствование законодательства о госзакупках. Второе. Совершенствование информационной системы. Третье. Отзывы. И четвертое – аккредитация. Все. По сути дела, когда доходит до третьего раунда, то здесь, опять-таки, мы не видим продолжения и конкретной той вот ситуации, когда бы можно было решить в рамках действующего законодательства данный пример, данную задачу. Что нужно на третьем раунде? В течение 10 минут нужно отобрать из того, что есть, самое лучшее решение. Прочитать кейс раз, прочитать кейс второй, выбрать лучшее решение и аргументировать его. Что мы видим? Следующая группа поступает гениально. Она подчеркивает зеленым маркером одно из решений – совершенствование законодательства о госзакупках. Коллеги, а где аргументы? А где аргументы? Почему? На основании чего? По сути дела, что мы видим, что на самом деле у нас происходит? Закон о госзакупках есть. Процедура есть расписанная? Есть. Кому претензии? К законодательству? Почему именно вот это подчеркивается, хотя по процедуре оно все расписано? И тут мы ищем решение совсем в другой стороне. И поэтому, как оценка в четвертом раунде, предлагается всю эту работу предыдущую оценить. Раз оценка за то-то, 2 балла за то-то, 3 балла за то-то, и 5, когда все решено, все удовлетворены, все довольны, все замечательно. Но в ходе изучения всей вот этой вот ситуации и этапов разрешения данного спорного момента, мы, к сожалению, приходим к тому, что ставим балл 1. Почему? Потому что в данном случае критерием постановки именно этой оценки, спасибо за помощь, если решение не соответствует или нарушает закон. По сути дела, про нарушение закона здесь речи нет, но не решает данная ситуация, данное решение данного проблемного вопроса. Спасибо за внимание. Если вопросы есть, пожалуйста. Вопросы есть? Спасибо.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for these comments. I think, my lady, you will not be very popular for this group because you are criticizing, let's say, the case. You do, and that is okay. That is fine. What I should do is, I cannot assess the case itself, but I would like to hear one reaction of the group who made the case. Is that possible? Can one of you give a reaction on what you have heard from? Yeah, you can use that mic.
Ключевой момент коррупция состояла в том, что если из года в год побеждает фирма, у которой качество ниже, да, были нарекания, очевидно, что победа этой фирмы обеспечена из-за того, что некие связи, может быть, у руководителей этой фирмы и представителей департамента госзакупок МВД. То есть аффилированы.
Приближать к рассмотрению выясняется, что владелец фирмы аффилирован департаментом госзакупок. Вот это предложение выпустили, или вот это даже смазалось.
Но те, кто искали пути, вернее, анализировали этот кейс, они, по идее, должны были догадаться, что просто так не может фирма с нареканиями побеждать каждый год в тендерах. Вот и все.
Не, наша ошибка была, признаем.
Okay, thank you very much. So there's maybe some miscommunication, and I understand that it is really crucial that the case written says my responsibility is yesterday and I observed, etc. That this, excuse me, that it is written as clear as possible. And sometimes you cannot fully understand because there's no contact between the groups. That is also because of the fact that we are with 50 people here. So we accept this. And the case is, I do not know exactly, but there is some fraudulent things. I can see that, but maybe you could not because there was not a real corruption case or whatever to be seen. That is, yeah. Okay, let's go to another group, and maybe there is a clearer case to be. So, is there another group who would like to present the case, including the judgment of all that? Who would like to do this? We want this lady on stage. Do you want to take the mic?
Здравствуйте, Динара Маникулова, Башкирская академия государственной службы управления предприятиями. Вы знаете, на самом деле я хотела сначала предложить вам деловую йогу. Вы мне, пожалуйста, позвольте, потому что все так напряглись, позвольте несколько упражнений для того, чтобы вам стало комфортно. Альбертус, вы не могли бы тоже помогать мне? Первое упражнение, которое мы должны все вместе сделать, пожалуйста, повторяйте за мной. Альбертус, sit down, please. Can you help me? You need to...
Надо, чтобы вы хорошо выполнили. Второе упражнение. нужно и вдруг ничего смешного. Так, следующее, что нужно делать, это дыхание, особенное дыхание.
А теперь дыхание, которое успокаивает и настраивает на нужный лад. Указательный палец нужно положить на лоб. Большим пальцем закрыть правую ноздрю. Начинаем дышать с левой ноздри, когда я голову поднимаю вверх, вы вдыхаете. Когда опускаю вниз, вдыхаете. Вдыхаете одной ноздрью, вдыхаете другой. Итак, нужно сделать 9 раз. Вдыхаем. Вверх, левая вверх, правая вниз. Выдыхаем. Вдыхаем правой. Выдыхаем левой. Итак, 9 раз. Ну а теперь вдох вверх, выдыхаем вниз. Это чтобы кейсы были понятны. Хотела вам сказать, что теперь необходимо показать мне, значит, теперь вы вытяните, пожалуйста, палец. Сначала смотрите на палец, потом на мистера Веракса. На палец, на мистера Веракса, на палец, на мистера Веракса. Теперь, пожалуйста, покажите мне правую руку, затем покажите левую, и давайте попробуем. Простенький был очень хорошим. Все проблемы, которые вы озвучили, они также есть и в нашем, но этот более структурированный кейс. И еще одна проблема, которую вы выявили, непонятно, как это будет повышать эффективность. I didn't understand how we can use the result for effectivity of our work. I don't know. Thank you very much.
This is very. You know, I do this work now for maybe over 30 years, but I never got a feedback on an exercise like this. This is really unique. Thank you very much for your help in the yoga sphere, etc. That is good, but also you gave feedback on the case. What I was thinking, this can happen when you are in a classroom. It can happen that somebody does something unexpected, and what to do, because it is a lot of time now. It is 10 to 5, so that means that she is taking some training time. It could be possible that I say, oh, sorry, you cannot do it this way. That's why I said 3 minutes. That was enough, because we want to focus further on the case itself. But this was also a kind of feedback given that this group was really very satisfied with the content of the case as well as with the solution. So that is clear, although I must say it is not clear what the case was all about. That is what we are missing. And what I want to achieve at the end, what I want to achieve at the end is at least that we discuss all the cases. Well, for this moment, it's not really necessary, because we are not, you know, it's a little bit fake what we do. But if you are working on ethical behavior, then it is really very serious, and you want to achieve goals. And as a manager, I also want to achieve goals. So it cannot only be this exercise, it is a part of a set of much more. That is what I want to say. Something unexpected can always happen. There can be a wasp, for example, in the classroom, and you can be disturbed. You can be disturbed by anything else. So anything can happen, and as a trainer, you always have to be focused on the objective. Why are you doing this? Because let me finalize by the whole session by the following. And in fact, it is a rehearsal at where's Ed? Ed's over there. Oh, maybe I can use this. I want to have the flip chart instead of here because I cannot write on this. I want to make a note on this. A marker. Where's the marker? Somebody a black marker? Yes, okay. This one. Open. So let this finalize the whole session. I started this morning also by mentioning the DA model, didactical analysis model, you remember. This is a model that every trainer should use all the time. So as a training specialist, you look at teaching training sessions through the eyes of the didactical analysis model. First of all, you look at the starting level. What is the starting level for a certain group? What is your starting level as a trainer? What is, let's say, the time? Now it is at the end of the Tuesday, no, it's Monday today, at the end of Monday. So that also influences what you will do with the group. That is called starting level. I write it in English because I cannot in Russian. Yeah? Starting level. Starting situation. Is that clear, that the starting situation? And you want to go to a certain objective. The arrow shows how much time you have available for that. That can also be organized. When you want a learner to be able to speak English, for example, as the colleague is teaching here, that cannot be done in a week. That is impossible. So you have to then, if the starting level is 0, you want learners to be able to speak English, it will take maybe a year or maybe depending on the level. This is the basis for every kind of training. There is a starting level that is unique. There is an objective which is also unique. During this period of time, you have a steering wheel. This is the time that you use, the components that you use in order, please, can we say this, that you have to use when you are doing the training. First of all, it is the content. So the content of the training. That can be, in this case, it was working about unethical behavior, or that is, can be a topic, can also be something in finance, can be anything. That is the content. How to structure the content. That is important. So every trainer should have an idea of what is the usual structure of the content. It can go from something simple to something complex. It can go in a deductive way. It means that your job starts with something general and then go to something precise. Can also go the other way. You start small and then move it up in an inductive way to something general. This is how you structure the content. You can also start with something that is interesting. Something interesting first and less interesting later on, when people have more knowledge about it. So there are some structures that you can use to cut the content into pieces in a certain order. That is one. Secondly, there is the method. So the teaching method. So basically, dear ladies, dear men, there are 5 types of teaching methods. And all the other teaching methods can fit into one of these 5. One is the instruction method. We heard this morning from the Invisible Man about e-learning. This is also the instruction method. But an instruction method is also what you all know is a lecture. When you deliver a lecture, absolutely instruction method. Also a demonstration is an instruction method. Also telling a story about how to behave in an ethical way or whatever. If the trainer says something, this is also an instruction method. Instruction method is meant as one-way communication, one-way communication from the trainer or from the expert to the non-expert. And that is all this group is instruction methods. The second group of teaching method is an interactive methods. Interactive methods is something different because that means that you start, for example, discussion. Or what, when I was young and when I was a teacher in a secondary school, I started with talking to people and asked them questions. They gave answers. I asked the other one, do you agree with this answer? Yes or no? And at the end, I finalized by saying, okay, this is all what you know. I give some information at the end. I did it with the interaction within the group. So that was done, and also questions and answers is also an interaction method. Then, that is something else. Then the third group of methods is case methods. You give problems, you give tasks, you give cases. And also, what we have done now is a kind of case method, although you have found the case yourself, and I gave instructions how to do this. So tasks, problems, and all that kind of stuff, exercises. Well, you can think about this. That what you think that you have to do in an individual way, that is a case study. And case method is the third set of teaching methods. A fourth case is the cooperation method. This, what we have done, is very much cooperation method, because it was organized in groups. We have groups of 15 people about. So that is more difficult because there is a case, the case has to be solved, and at the same time, people have to do it together. So there's also a social component in it. Maybe people within the group do not like each other, or like each other very much. That is also a possibility. Sometimes there are even men and women that are in one group, and they are standing like this, you know. They like it very much. So that is cooperation method. The fifth type of group is more is the plays. So, for example, a simulation. If you want to do a simulation, if you want to do a role play, this is also a group. You can have a structured role play, an open role play. In some institutions, some administrations, a role play is very effective, especially when you deal with civil servants. In practice, if you are working in administration, you have contact with civil servants, and role play take part also in the, and also for management training, for example. If I'm a manager, I have to be able to have a bad news conversation. Sorry, you're fired, for example. But you have to do it in a structural way. So there are elements for this discussion is how to do this, and you can also train this and then practice it in a play. That is 5 types of methods that you can choose. And for every type of method, there are various possibilities. So also this exercise is one possibility. That is the teaching method. And then there are 2 more. I do not write it very smart, but you cannot read it anyway. So it is learning activities. So the method is chosen by the lecturer, by the trainer. He decides what will be done, and as a result of that, the learners are active, more or less. If I do a lecture, then I give you a pen and paper. I said, please listen to me and take notes, whatever you like, and make your notes yourself. That is your responsibility. If I'm asking a question, I ask you to give a reply to that. Then you do another thing. It's giving an answer to the question. That's another learning activity. Here, in this exercise, you did a lot. You had cooperation, you had to work together, you have to think about a problem and to discuss it with each other. So that is the learning activity, and there will be a variety of activities that you do in the classroom or in the office that can differ from one to another. But there is a link between the method and the learning activity. Then next one is the type of media. Nowadays, as I told you, we have a lot of training tools. I can say to you, please go to YouTube and type in this information, and then you can read by yourself in the evening at night, or maybe in the office, if you have a computer available, because I do not know if you've seen your office, then you can read yourself what is meant. So what I did then, I'm not presenting anymore. I have put some information on YouTube, and I ask you to study this before we start the training. So it's again, it's new. It's new because of new information technology. 20 years ago, I think YouTube did not exist, but now it exists. If, for example, if I have a problem with my car, I have a Volkswagen, of course, because I'm from Germany, a Volkswagen, I have to repair my car, the wheel of my car. I put in YouTube how to change a wheel, and then it's up to there, because it's by the one who can repair this wheel. And so that's very simple. It's not necessary to speak about this anymore. These are other types of information, and that will grow very fast. And also because people will use the internet more and more and more, even the youngsters, although some of you are very young, but there are even more younger people. They are used to all this new technology, and they will learn in a different way as when we learned, if you are 60 years old like me. So there are several type of media is available. We still use the flip chart, and I adore the flip chart to build up a system and to make it comprehensible for you. So I could also do it on the PowerPoint. Everybody has a PowerPoint nowadays. You've seen it this morning as well. Then it is switch, and especially is the accountants, the people who do accountancy, they have a lot of information and they show it in one time, and you have to follow it. And it's too much information often. So also with using the PowerPoint, you have to do it in a paced way so that everyone can really understand. And you have, as a trainer or as a moderator, you have to look into the eyes of people whether they have understood this. So that is crucial. Then there is a next type within the steering wheel, that is the type of group. That means I can ask you to work individually. When I ask you to comment on this method, take 1 minute for yourself on a piece of paper and write down what you think is the pros and the cons and the problems with this. That is individually. I can also do it to organize in pairs, together. I can make bus groups, 4 or 5 people together, or I can work in pairs. That is basically the possibilities. This steering wheel has to be round because it has to move from the starting level to the objective. That as many people as possible, because that makes you effective as a trainer, have achieved the learning objective. That's why it has to be round. All those components, all the components have to deal with each other and on each other. So it is like a diagnostic view on what training is if you apply this. And of course, during the whole phase, there is evaluation. Evaluation, this morning I mentioned Kilpatrick as an important man who has said useful things about evaluation. I can ask you if you're satisfied about this afternoon, that it's satisfaction, that's a very low level, but it gives some information. I can also test you, that is the second level. I can look at maybe when you come back to your office and work there, how more ethical you are because of this training, that is level 3. And if the organization has changed because of this, that is level 4. We are looking for 10 for return on investment. So the time that I spent on ethical behavior and the increase of ethical behavior, that must have, let's say, we have to be. I have to measure that our unit in our administration has become more ethical, and that is difficult, but it has to be done. That is really what is effective. So you evaluate during your training whether your starting level, as you have assessed it in the beginning, was right or wrong. If it is a little bit wrong, you can change one of the factors that makes the wheel go round. Change it in order to link it as much as possible to the starting level. You also evaluate the components of this wheel. Maybe during the training or during the whole session, you can change the content, change the method. Everything is possible. So you are, let's say, the conductor of the orchestra. If an orchestra, he knows what he's doing, what's the trumpet doing, what is the drums doing, he knows what all the kind of the violin, for example. So you are the conductor of the orchestra, and you must make the orchestra make sound music, good music. That is your task. It's a fantastic task because it can be really, really very rewarding. Then you evaluate at the end whether people have received the objective. And that is done by Kilpatrick in several things. So in several ways. So this is a model that I already for 30 years use when I look at training sessions. So it is, let's say, it's printed in my glasses. If I would look at you and see your performance as a trainer, I would look at these components. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 8 components. 8 components. What have you chosen? How did you do this? Is this the best way, or could it be done better? So this is what I'd like to give you at the end of this afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for your enthusiastic work on this topic. Not everybody has done the presentation, but I think it is enough for now. Because this morning you've had a lot of information, and now this was also a kind of training pill that I've given to you. Maybe I should put this on YouTube and not tell it all the time. But I'm really very enthusiastic about this, and I hope you can do that you can benefit from what I've said. Shall we say enjoy the evening? Shall we say have a good evening and have a good dinner? And let's meet tomorrow again, probably in the same room, but that's up to Panos and to all the others who are organizing this session. So, thank you very much, and applause for your time.
Спасибо. Thank you very much for your teaching. I'm here. Thank you very much. Большое спасибо to you for your teaching session, and this is very helpful and interesting. На русском говорить, да? Команду получила. Спасибо большое. Я хотела тоже поблагодарить представителя DBB и за вот эту экспертную поддержку с Европейским Союзом Джорджу, да, и его команде, которые позволили нам сегодня вот получить ваши знания и то, что вы поделились вместе с нами. Огромное спасибо. Я просто бы хотела всех наших гостей тоже, которые здесь приехали в Астану со всех регионов Казахстана, сказать спасибо за активную, наверное, да, за активное участие, активную работу. И, конечно, в завершении просто хотелось бы сделать пару объявлений о том, что сейчас мы ужинаем здесь, в этом же здании, а завтра у нас начинается сессия посвящена научному блоку, то есть научно-исследовательский институт совместно со странами регионального хаба провели совместное обследование в части оценки деятельности государственных служащих в контексте борьбы с коррупцией. И представители как раз вот и участники вообще этого исследования, они будут завтра презентовать и делиться этими данными полученными. И второй блок сессии будет посвящен вопросам перспективы развития и определения дальнейших перспектив и потребностей для работы регионального хаба. Поэтому с 9 начинается завтра работа, до обеда, до часу 30 мы постараемся все завершить. Спасибо огромное, хорошего вечера и не мерзните, пожалуйста. Берегите себя. Спасибо. Да?